Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. This is Carol Parisi with our founder, Jack Roser, and Kim Hilgieman is with us today. And during our break, we were talking about education because Awaken America did help to collaborate with District 15 School Bond under the great leadership of one of the moms there. And we did help to collaborate with signatures. And Jack clearly expresses that we have not had education reform. Our newspapers tell us that we have. And Jack, tell us a little bit.
I'm burned up. Here goes a rant. The Tribune and the Sun-Times picked up that this guy from Oregon that came in here, and they passed some education bills through the legislature that are supposed to be a reform of education. And that's what the Tribune and the Sun-Times put on the front page. We've got education reform. Baloney! This thing was harmful to our cause. It is something that is a fake, because it isn't doing anything. Think of what our real problem is in education. In the K-12 system alone, leave out the universities, which are an even worse example, but there aren't so many of these people. But there are a ton of people. There's 860 different districts in the state of Illinois, all of them with superintendents that are dragging down infamously high pensions and salaries, and they've run this upwards of $80 billion of debt. It's a debt that can never be paid, and it's due to the outrageous salaries and pensions that anybody can see in the articles by Zettler on championnews.net. That's our website that puts it out. Or you can find it with the FamilyTaxpayerFoundation.org. You can find it there. It's all of the teachers' salaries, and I don't want to pick on the teachers because it's mainly the schemers from the IEA. IEA union. It is not a teachers union. It is a union of people that have a political goal, and it's all about themselves. It's of, by, and for the Illinois Education Association, that is a division of the NEA, which Forbes magazine way back in 1893, here's a copy of it. Here's the charts of the salaries going up and the achievement going down, written by Forbes. I got 1,000 of these and distributed it back in 1993. 1893 was. I was chasing girls then.
National.
They called it the National Extortion Association. I've been calling the IEA the enemy of the Republic. Why? Because they've brought on us this immense debt, and they failed to educate the children in the schools. In the city of Chicago, only half of the kids that start high school ever finish it, and they're at the 6th grade level. And that's being done at a cost of $16,000 per child. If you had 20 kids in a room, that's over $300,000. It's hard to imagine how much money is wasted on roofs and buildings. Salaries, pensions are the biggest thing of all. $80 billion, that is really what is burdening down the state. And Madigan, the Democrats who have let this thing grow ever since 1998, when they switched the payment of these vast pensions over from the local area where they're making the darn foolish moves, they put the funding of that over on the state, and they've bankrupted the state by doing that. And that's clearly the major debt. We've got bills from the state to take care of the poor people that are in debt, in bed, and other places, but Madigan passed another $3.7 billion debt in bonds in order to pay these outrageous pensions to people that don't deserve it. Let me tell you, you've got all kinds of superintendents that are making salaries by the time they retire. They're making salaries of $200,000 to $300,000 a year and more. These are nothing but smiling bureaucrats, and we got 930 of them in the whole state. They're typically retiring as some of the upper manipulators, the finance people of the IEA union-run schools that are have salaries in this high thing, they retire at age 55. We're financing a parade of functionaries that are doing lousy business for our kids and our taxpayers at very high cost. Every one of these things has got some superintendent making way too much. Typically here in 300, District 300 out here in Kane County, this guy's making over $200,000. He'll retire. The one before him's making that, and the one after. He'll go from 55 to 85. You're going to have a parade of highly paid superintendents, 6 to 10 of them in a parade, each one of them making over $200,000 on the job and in his pension.
Jack, let me ask you, if that person dies, does the wife get, or the husband?
Well, the employee get, and if you could, in this case, there'd be a woman running the finance division, and she will have an outrageous salary, which I couldn't give you now, but it's on championnews.net. All of those salaries of all of them in the state of Illinois are on championnews.net.
But does the spouse get it when the person dies?
Oh, yeah.
So it continues.
I couldn't actually swear to that, but these people aren't going to die early. Listen, these guys never did any heavy lifting, and they're going to live to 85 and 90. And that's why you got a parade of 6 guys making well over $200,000 a year all the rest of their lives. Each guy you've got on the job in the schools is part of a parade costing well over $1 million a year. And that's what's busting us. And the thing is all perpetrated by the IEA, the enemy of the Republic. Those guys are using the dues from the good teachers to keep themselves in political power. They can elect their own bosses, and the parents and the taxpayers have been completely made useless, not a matter. All they need is the kids to be a reason for these guys to be stealing the taxpayers' money.